Shop, and we are here at the MBCEA show in Charlotte, North Carolina. It has been just a great day. We have been walking around the show floor making new friends, and one of our friends who we just met and we're really excited to bring to kind of talk about a really important topic of ventilation is Brent with Moffitt Corporation. Brent, hello.
Well, thanks for having me.
How do you feel about being a new friend?
I mean, you guys were so nice when you came by our booth. I felt like we kind of had to come by and
I like it.
and repay that kindness.
Well, we love it because this is what you're providing for the industry, many industries, is so important for the health of buildings, for the health of people, and that's really the ventilation and
Yes.
different types of ventilation that you're doing. So with Metal Coffee Shop or with Roofers Coffee Shop, there's
We work with a lot of roofers.
There's a lot of roofers. There's some tie-ins. So if you could introduce yourself, tell us what you do with Moffitt, and then tell us about Moffitt and your products.
So I'm Brent Narkowitz. I'm the VP of Sales and Business Development. We also I've got marketing underneath me as well,
Okay.
so touch a lot of stuff in the business. Moffitt's been around since the early 60s. Started out in steel ventilation in Pittsburgh, and obviously a lot of steel in Pittsburgh.
Yes,
But
there is.
company eventually moved to Florida, and in Jacksonville, we're Jacksonville Beach, it's kind of where our admin office is. So, accounting, all the shared services. And then we manufacture most of our products outside of Dallas.
Okay.
And then we also have a fan company that we recently acquired that's based in San Diego and does a lot of the work in Tijuana. So
Love it.
they were a supplier of ours for years, and now, we were able to buy them and incorporate them into our designs.
That's
So
happening a lot,
yeah.
and that's a smart move. I mean, to be able to start bringing all that together.
Yeah, we were having issues with lead times with one of our suppliers, so that's why we wanted more control of that.
Yeah.
And kind of that COVID time frame when
Right.
stuff was a little sideways, but
There's been a lot of adjustments that have gone on since COVID.
and ventilation's a
Yeah.
big part of that.
Right,
So
exactly.
we've had jobs that have come in because of an HR initiative.
Uh-huh.
They can't retain people.
Right.
They don't want to work in these nasty environments anymore. So like the hotter, the dirtier, the nastier is better for us.
Yeah.
But
And you are really, it's all about, it's not, so in the roofing world, right, we have ventilation in the attic, we have ventilation there, but you're talking about whole building ventilation and really changing
Yes.
that space and big areas.
that's where Moffitt excels. Like we've seen so much.
Yeah.
There's a lot of experience. The John Moffitt, who's our president now, is his dad started the company, but his
Yeah.
boys are in the business now. So it's like
Love
it's
it.
kind of third generation.
Yeah.
But the number of projects, like I was talking to Joshua, who's here with me. He's one of our business development guys, and I just was looking at one of our databases this week that goes back to like the 90s with jobs.
Wow.
So we've got like a couple different systems we've had data in, but we've tracked projects for that long, pictures of them, what we did, and so there's a ton of experience with our
Yeah.
engineering team. And the way we typically work is we'll have one of our district managers go and do a site visit. They take readings, comes back to our engineering team. They all have dedicated engineers, and then it takes most times about a week, if not more, to do the design work. And that
Wow.
all of that's on us,
Okay.
even the site visit. So to me, that engineering work we don't talk about enough because every building's a little different, and it just takes a different design.
Yeah.
And that's where we can pull from our experience, but also the products that we have,
Yes.
and design the right system for what the end user's dealing with.
Right. Okay. Obviously, retrofit, going in, fixing up some of these places that just are not a good work thing.
Right.
I mean, that's so important. And then new construction, are you also kind of working in that realm?
We do. We've been tilted more to retrofit because usually there's a problem.
Right.
But we're making more of an effort to get in with the engineers and get specified,
Yeah.
and we've done plenty of new construction too. And some of our products are more meant for that.
Right.
So it just depends on, again, what's going on and what products we deploy on ventilation
Everything.
systems,
And
essentially.
it's interesting, the people who are here, all the contractors and erectors, are really a really strong combination of new construction, builders, design build, and retrofit and remodel. So you're kind of seeing both here today.
Yeah, we've had some similar conversations at this meeting, where, and we've come off of we went to the Butler meetings. We've been at a couple other metal
Yeah.
building erector meetings this year already, and they some of these guys like do more than just the building.
Right.
They want to get to do the ventilation work. So whether it's a little ridge vent or like a couple fans or some louvers, and that's where we hope they come to us to like
Right.
just design that into the building. And we've heard a couple stories where they maybe send it to their mechanical friend, and then he sends it to his pre-engineered metal building friend, and all of a sudden the building's out of it, it's gone. So
Right. Yeah.
if they have a building they're kind of concerned about, because they're all protective, they all fight over the same work.
Right. Right.
You can maybe send the building to us where we're not competitive. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're just trying to.
You're
We can
just
show you where to
best
put the
solution.
ventilation, and if you want to install it, you can. We can sell you the equipment, or maybe the end user wants to install it. So we can work with you and we can help you install it. So it just
I
depends.
know, that's when we were talking earlier, that's the part I was really impressed at, is that you kind of offer across the board. You'll either install it, you have teams that will go out and install the ventilation, or you'll help them, teach them, and get them the equipment that they need to install.
Exactly. We've got a whole field team that could be on site and help with installation.
Yeah.
Or we do it turnkey, like you said, where we handle it all. So
Yeah.
it just depends on what their
Great model.
what their budget allows. And big thing for us is to be vertically integrated. We want to control it all. So we're making the product. We can help you install it. Like I said, we could just sell it to you, or we'll do the whole
Right,
turnkey
whole 9
solution.
yards.
Yeah.
So what are you hearing from the contractors who are coming to talk to you? What are some of their biggest pain points, and kind of what are they looking for ventilation-wise?
There's probably a smaller percentage of them here that take on that scope. So they'll just ask us. They've maybe had a job where they've seen some of our events,
Right.
so they want to learn more about them. Some of the, quite frankly, we work with some of the vendors that are also exhibiting, like us,
Okay.
as a supplier,
Yeah.
or we buy something from them. But there was a couple conversations we had where, hey, even our manufacturing process is too hot, so that may be an opportunity for us too.
Right.
And that's kind of why we come, because you never know who. That was a lunch conversation today.
Such a great point. And that's what we've noticed here today is it's not just about manufacturers or suppliers talking to erectors and contractors, but everybody's talking to each other too.
Yeah.
How do you solve problems? How do these building suppliers, manufacturers get your products, and how does this work? I found that to be really cool. It's really tight knit.
Yeah, and then you never know where it goes, because even the lunch conversation, we're going to expand like kind of our portfolio, and if we get busy enough, we can maybe use them to do some of that process, or to help us build the shell for the product, because that's what they specialize in, especially if our volume gets high enough, maybe we need somebody like that
To help, yeah.
So
I've seen a lot of that, and that is really cool. Well, I have to tell you, I was intrigued, just knowing how important ventilation is, and seeing your products, very cool and different. It's different than I'm used to, and I like it. It's really interesting when you look at it and you see whole building ventilation solutions.
We again usually get called in when there's a problem. So and it could be anything. It could be that they moved something that created the heat. Maybe they've added on, so the heat's going somewhere different in the building. So we can leverage our experience to help them, but also, if you want to go even further, we offer a CFD modeling, so that we can visually show them what's happening.
How it's working.
And it's kind of like several conversations today. That's our belt and suspenders approach, because we can run all that on our own calculations. But if they want to really understand what's happening, that's like a gold standard now for us, and we're doing it on a high percentage of our jobs. And because if they spend a couple $1,000s on a CFD model, but their project is 200, 400, 500. Why not?
Why not?
And then another key to another part of it that I think has always been big from what I've seen is we could tell them, hey, and we'll do this even when we do our hand calcs, is what the post, once we install, what the performance will be like for them. Temperatures will be at the floor, because that's the big deal. Could be at a crane rail though, and that CFD will really dial that in. So if they're 30 feet in the air and it's 100 degrees, we can really tell them for sure that's what's going to happen. But like I said, CFD's kind of changed how we approach some of these jobs, especially if it's more complex. But and that's
we've done it on Bitcoin facilities, do a lot of corrugated box. Again, I mentioned we've always done steel, but anybody that glass is a big deal.
Yeah.
So some of these guys get into that, but a lot of them do a little bit lighter, like industrial work. So the heat loads aren't as bad, and they probably just need, like I said, a ridge vent and some fans to kind of, and louvers to get their work done.
Together.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to say this for those out there who don't know. What does CFD stand for?
So it's computational fluid dynamics.
Okay, and so it's where everything is tracking the heat.
Yeah, and we used to. They're so complex. Like the compute power that we need is big, and it would take us a couple days to run some of these. And we do iterations, right? We'll get feedback from the customer. Now we've upgraded our system and we can run it in like minutes. So they get real-time results real fast.
Okay. And so they know where the heat, the condensation, where everything's happening.
Yeah, and we're getting into like particulate now too.
Yeah.
So that's becoming that. You mentioned like the health of employees.
Right.
So that more and more that's becoming a problem.
Yeah. Fascinating. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad we walked and found you and took some time. This is the kind of stuff that I love. I love to learn about it. So can you share with everybody where they can find out, get more information?
So you can go to moffittcorp.com. So it's MOFFITT, 2 F's, 2 T's, corp.com is our website. And we're actually in the process of updating that. So we'll have a new one hopefully in the next month. But everything's there, and they can find everything about Moffitt and see some of the projects that we've worked on, and we've got a blog they can learn a lot in that as well. So
I love it.
Yeah.
Everything you need to know about ventilation for the whole building, not just the attic space. So thank you so much. And
thanks for having us.
Thank you. It's so great, Brent. Thank you. And thank you for watching. I'm not sure if we have any more interviews tonight or not, but you just never know. So stay tuned, and for sure we'll be doing a recap and a wrap up tomorrow morning with Karen and I. So we'll see.